you know, I would encourage everyone by saying, listen, if you are the creator, you are meant to do bigger things and have to worry about posting on social media every day. And though you may not see and understand the value of, you know, hiring you guys at Kona Rise, it's going to become evident after you start, and you're going to be able to now focus on bigger and better things, and, you know, let you guys handle that and make life a lot easier, a lot less stressful. And that in itself is damn near priceless. So at least worth the try for the 90 days, and really just commit to seeing the impact it has, not just on the actual social media page itself, but their overall productivity, focus, energy, and less stress from not having to deal with it anymore. And I think that's the other good thing. You've always shown the ability to make the tweaks, make the adjustments where necessary, test this out, test that out. And that adds more confidence to, okay, even if we hit a bump in the road, we're not going to be stuck there because we know how to move and go in a new direction. Whereas some people just know how to do things one way, and they don't know how to try anything different, you know, and they don't know how to grow in their role.
Hey everyone, Rebecca Eloisa here. I'm here with one of our Kona Rise digital clients, Stephan Labossiere. Stephan is a certified dating and relationship coach, speaker, and author, and has an audience of over 3.5 million across social media. So he is a superstar, in other words. He's the GOAT. So welcome, Stephan. Thank you for jumping on with me.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, share some of the work that we've done together. Basically, the people who are watching this right now are those that are interested in working with Kona Rise Digital, but maybe on the fence. My first question, I actually haven't asked this before, but I've always been curious, is how did you get into teaching relationships? Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
So, I mean, it's a really long story, but ultimately it boils down to God and kind of going through a spiritual journey, really just asking God, what does he want me to do? And feeling led to write my first book, which was How to Get a Woman to Have Sex with You If You're Her Husband. And when I wrote that book, I had no clue it was going to mean me becoming a speaker, a coach, multiple. I didn't know what was coming next. I just knew at that time, God said, write the book. And so I did. And then every time I would accomplish the next task, I would just go back to praying, okay, like, what's next? What do I need to do? And I just kept following what I felt I was hearing spiritually to do. One thing led to another. So it went from the first book to a blog, to being certified as a coach, to another book, and it just blew up from there.
And so where do you feel like the fascination with dating and relationships comes from in your life? And not just fascination, but really this like expertise to tell it like it is.
I think it's a combination of three things. I guess two of them kind of the same thing. So one, spiritual knowledge. I think it's just things that kind of God shows me or allows me to see through different experiences or through prayer or whatever the case may be. I think also I've always been the person that people told their business to. So even when I was younger, like I remember I was 13 years old or something, met a girl randomly, and she's like giving me her whole life story about molestation, like all kinds of stuff that she never told anyone. And it wasn't just her, like there'll be countless experiences of people meeting me for the first time and just opening up and telling me everything. And then even saying like, I don't know why I told you all that, or I don't know why I'm so comfortable saying this to you, you know? And when I look back now and I connect all the dots, I'm like, oh, I guess this was always supposed to happen. I was supposed to always be on this path. But by them telling me all these stories and me seeing all these other experiences for myself as well, it allowed me to see behind closed doors that what a lot of people don't get to see. And so by seeing what's really going on behind closed doors, I feel like it's given me a better understanding of people. And then of course, by extension of relationships. And then I think the third thing is just, I was like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Myers-Briggs personality types, but I'm an INFJ, and that's like the rarest personality type in the world. And it's the most rare for men. only 1% of men are INFJ because of the intuition piece. And so I just have very high levels of intuition, way above normal. I can see through things. I can see past whatever facade people are putting. I pick up on things very easily. I pick up on people's energy very easily. And I believe all that kind of pours into why God wanted me to do what I do now.
Wow, that's really interesting. It sounds like since you were a kid, you were, like you said, people were telling you their business. And honestly, it's probably because they were burdened with something that they feel like they couldn't share with anybody else, because maybe there wasn't like a safe space or safe place for them to share it, or they felt like they could tell someone, but then also not be judged by it.
Exactly.
So
absolutely.
I think that's really powerful, and I do feel like that comes through your videos a lot of times, not only in the comments sections of like your videos and on social media, but people are like, dang, like stop yelling at me. Even though you don't know this person, but what you say hits their heart. It hits their pain points, like we say in marketing. So what about, like, did any of this start with a breakup? I feel like a lot of stories start with a breakup, especially with relationships.
So it didn't start with a breakup. Did I go through heartbreaks and breakup? Yes, I've gone through those things, but those things I can't pinpoint them as the catalyst. I can only pinpoint them as huge contributing factors to just me having a deeper understanding of things, because it's easier for me to pinpoint, relate, and see things for what they are when you've gone through a lot of them yourself, So I think it helped in that way, but I can't ever say that it was the actual catalyst, except I could say, I guess indirectly, in the sense that I feel like it contributed to me going on a spiritual journey. I view the catalyst as me getting closer to God. Like, if I don't do that part, regardless of any heartbreak, whatever, I don't end up here. And if I don't listen to what God's telling me, I don't end up here. So to me, that's the true catalyst. But, with God, it may have all been an important piece of the puzzle to get me to that point of even getting closer to God.
Right. And that's one thing, like, I feel like I'm learning right now, just in life in general, is that different adversities, like there's, like Shakespeare says, there's a sweetness in adversity. When we go through things, it a lot of times it can bring you closer to God. Sometimes it doesn't for other people, but I think eventually if you have that foundation there, it will. And that only helps you get to know yourself better, connect with God better, and then put you on that right path. That may be uncomfortable. Or really uncomfortable. That may hurt, but is necessary. And on the other side of that is that sweetness that comes from adversity. So thank you for sharing. And so what I wanted to do is jump into just asking you a couple questions about your experience with Kona Rise. To go over some of the stats a little bit, we've helped manage your TikTok account. We're currently working with you on Instagram. On TikTok, we doubled the following and gained about 300,000 followers in about 6 months. And then on Instagram, we are helping you, we're supporting you in managing the posts that go out. We post about, it's about 3 posts a day, Monday through Friday. And then now we're going to be taking up stories, which is like 3 to 5 posts a day. That's about eight posts a day on Instagram. So for somebody like you who is the creator, like you are a content creator and you have your hands dipped in a bunch of other different investments and businesses and stuff like that, setting an alarm and posting 8 times a day is probably not something that it's not the best place to use your time that you have. And so that's one thing that we talked about. So before bringing us on, what type of social media support were you looking for?
So I'm going to take that, as you just explained, it's not the greatest use of my time. It doesn't allow me to focus on other important tasks that I need to take care of, that I personally have to take care of. So I was just looking for support that could help alleviate me of that burden, but also either at the very worst, keep up with what I was already generating as far as momentum, following, reach, all that kind of stuff, if not grow it and make it bigger and better. It was just mainly so that I don't have to not only worry about posting it, but even worry about just curating the content in the sense of, okay, what should I post today? What should I post now? like that in itself is mental energy that can really drain you and take away from the other things you need to focus your energy on. So it's a huge relief to not have to do it anymore.
Yeah, it is. It's funny because some people I've heard, and people have told me this to my face. They're like, social media is easy. You just find something, you just post it up real quick. Like, it's super simple. You get to scroll online all day. It's fun. And it is fun. I love it, but it's not easy. It may be
No, at
simple,
all.
but it's not easy. It takes, especially because social media is kind of designed to take your energy. And before you know it, you're scrolling, you're on your explore page. So it's not something, I think, as a creator, you don't want to get sucked into consuming too much of it. So it's important to protect that piece as a creator.
Absolutely.
So we are the first, I guess, agency to manage your Instagram. Is that correct in saying?
I mean, I want to say maybe 5 years ago, I tried someone out for like a month. It didn't work out. And then I tried one other person, and then she actually ended up switching careers. And then after that, it was just me by myself the whole way through. Other than maybe 3 months out of all the years I've been doing this, did somebody else do it. And even when they were doing it, I don't remember if it was just them. I think it was like them in addition to me. Whereas now with you, it's just you guys. I don't really touch it.
So I'm curious, what about working with Kona Rise and working with me made you feel comfortable to do that? Because it's not an easy thing to give someone access to your social media accounts, especially when you've spent years and years building a following and protecting your brand, your image, and all of that kind of stuff. And especially with someone like you who helps people who may be in a very sensitive time in their life, like post breakup or going through a hardship in the relationships.
Well, I think one, you've worked with other influencers, big influencers before. So your resume in regards to your experience with other people, it creates more confidence in giving you guys a try working with you guys. You know, I've met you, I've talked to you, I believe in you. I think you are a good, positive person who knows what she's doing. So it's like that also established a level of trust. Of course, for me, it's always praying about it. So also praying about it and God just saying, yeah, go ahead. But just overall, I think just the few times that we kind of tested some stuff out, it seemed cool. And so I was like, all right. Because, you know, to me, you can't no one's going to be perfect right off the bat. I don't care who you hire. I don't care how long they've been doing it. No one's perfect because everyone has to learn your brand. They have to understand how you want to do things and what works on your page. And so to me, the goal is always, you got to find the people that you are comfortable and happy working with and happy to grow with and believe that they have the ability to adjust. And I think that's the other good thing. You've always shown the ability to make the tweaks, make the adjustments where necessary, test this out, test that out. And that adds more confidence to, okay, even if we hit a bump in the road, we're not going to be stuck there because we know how to move and go in a new direction. Whereas some people just know how to do things one way and they don't know how to try anything different, you know, and they don't know how to grow in their role. But that's not the issue with you guys. So that's the other reason.
I love that. We've talked about that before too, but I also just love hearing it. It warms my heart because one thing I do is I take my relationships, especially working relationships, very seriously, especially when we're managing an account. It's almost like babysitting. It's like babysitting in the sense of taking care of something that is very valuable, I would say. And not only, and even more so, like a child, an account brings in like hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. And so it's very important to make sure that everyone who touches your account, whether it's on my team or it's myself, it has a lot of experience with large accounts. And then also we have like the NDAs and all the contracts and all the protection and privacy stuff in place too. I'm happy that you prayed about it and God said yes, because I was praying about it too. I was like, Lord, I would love to work with Stephan. And like you mentioned, like the evolution or being able to like pivot is really important. Because we've worked on a bunch of different projects. Like sometimes it's like, hey, let's do TikTok. Let's pause for a couple months. Let's try Facebook ads, or let's try this thing with the website. And we're able to stop and go and work with what works best for you. I know, especially when you have a a thriving online business, the pivoting is very important, especially because algorithms change, social media changes, sometimes ads work, sometimes they don't. There's things happening in the world and like overseas and in our own country that may affect like the political climate, that affects the audience's perception of whatever you're speaking about. So that's one thing that we're always aware of and watching. So the way that we work, we have most of our communication, and then what we talk about, then I'll relay over to the team. You also have an assigned social media manager to also, every once in a while, he'll jump on the calls. But we mainly have the face-to-face. So what is your favorite part about working with me and working with the team?
As far as the actual work, or we're saying just in general?
I would say both. If you could share both, that'd be amazing.
So, okay, with you, your energy, just very positive and sweet and all those good things. So that's the main thing with you. And with the team, you know, the times that we've had the Zoom calls, again, the willingness to just listen, consider what I'm saying, not just being stuck in one perception of things, you know, and doing a really good job with the reels, viral reels that we try to post. That has done really, really well. And just overall, just good communication with everybody, with you, with the team, being, you know, making sure we're on the same page and executing the things that we discussed.
Okay. Thank you for that. That's something that's super important, is the communication. Okay, so final question. What would you tell someone who's on the fence right now about signing up for social media management with us, or at least trying us out for the first 90 days?
Yeah, I would say, like, because you know, with me, I was scared as hell to hand over my social media. And, you know, when you're used to doing it by yourself for so long, it's just a really tough pill to swallow. But, you know, I would encourage everyone by saying, listen, you are meant to, if you are the creator, you are meant to do bigger things and have to worry about posting on social media every day. And though you may not see and understand the value of, you know, hiring you guys at Kona Rise, it's going to become evident after you start, and you're going to be able to now focus on bigger and better things, and, you know, let you guys handle that and make life a lot easier, a lot less stressful. And that in itself is damn near priceless. So definitely at least worth the try for the 90 days, and really just commit to seeing the impact it has, not just on the actual social media page itself, but their overall productivity, focus, energy, and less stress from not having to deal with it anymore.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, thank you so much, Stephan, for letting me have 30 minutes of your time and answering some of these questions for us. I really, really value you as a client, as a friend. So thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.